Hello, my name is Samuel Warwick. I have autism. The entertainment industry has been a huge part of my childhood. So, by being inspired to see other entertainment podcasters interviewing other people from television shows, I decided to do one myself. To know about some funny behind the scenes, bloopers, and some stuff that we probably didn't know about while they were making the certain type of show. This is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. Let's go to the podcast now. Hello, everybody, and we are recording now. All right. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. I am, of course, your host, as always, Samuel Warwick, and we're always happy to have you here, wherever you're watching. If this is your first episode, well, welcome. Like I said before, my name is Samuel Warwick, and if you're back for another episode, welcome back. We're glad to have you back, no matter how you found me, or if you're watching me. So, yeah. Anyway, I have, of course, two co-hosts with me today for this episode. I have, of course, Martin Kreps.
Hello.
And, of course, Jordan Robinson. Of course, these two. Like you.
Greetings.
All right. How are you both doing today?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's good, guys. That's good. All right. Well, so I'm really a bit excited about our guest today because our guest has written for this is mainly the UK, which you see of UK. Yes, this is another British person up there in the industry. And yeah, in the that is he's written for a lot of UK shows, and so we mainly had a lot of Americans that we've interviewed a lot of Americans that live there. We've interviewed one singer. We don't get a lot of foreign guests, but this guy was very happy enough. This was a struggle to get a lot of UK guests, though. It was a lot of struggle, as a lot of the writers have rejected my offer.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, it's just it's frustrating, when you try to really you try to type in, you try to ask, can you please join my podcast, and a lot of people say no and no and no and no. It's kind of frustrating. And I even tried to get
Indeed.
actors from from the particular show. I tried to get the actors from the particular show, and that didn't really work out either. And one of them did say yes. So, but then sadly I didn't get her. But we'll get to that in a minute. But I have gotten one. Hopefully, one of them will work. But anyway, this writer today from the UK has written for various shows. He has written for shows such as, well, Noddy, of course. He's written for Noddy, of course, and he's written for another one of my favorite shows of all time, which is, of course, Thomas and Friends. But he only has written for the CGI series, and we all know how the CGI series of Thomas technically is. But I think, but here's the thing. I think it's kind of good that he's on, because it's to celebrate the death of course, Britt Offcroft, of course, who recently just passed away. So, and this year we're honoring everybody who has made Thomas, who has passed away, who has made Thomas such a great iconic show. And so it's great that we have him here. But and another thing, most importantly, this writer has written at least 3 episodes from the new Worst Witch from the '05 series. And yeah, so I'm really excited to talk about those. But anyway, guys, and of course he's written for the other 2 shows that you like, such as Squashbuckle there, and he has written for Mike the Knight, and
Yes.
and then PJ Mask. So without
Oh, yeah.
further ado, dilly dally, I know I kind of wasted a big chunk of time here, but anyway, our guest is Gerard. I'm gonna butcher this name, Gerard Foster, or Foster, if that's right. I think Foster or Forster. I don't know. But anyway, that's who we have. So welcome.
Hi guys, how you doing? I'm doing
Very well.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're
Gerard
doing
Foster.
All right.
Fine.
All right, Gerard Foster. Thank you.
Or
Thank you.
a lot of people know me as Jez within the
Okay.
kind of industry, so feel free to call me Jez instead. But Jez, Gerard, whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, just it's just been like I said before, it's just been a Dutch trying to get a lot of people on here, a lot of the writers have said no, and a lot of the people from that particular new or Switch show have said no, that they definitely. So I don't know how strict is the UK industry. Like, I don't understand.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't speak for them. I'm obviously a very easy date, Samuel.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now, normally we like to tell people about their origin story, but here's what we can do. We can now. This is I don't normally ask. You know what? I should be asking people this, but sometimes I don't because I want to get into the real stuff. But maybe you can ask a little bit about yourself, or do whatever, or before we get into your origin story, you can ask a little bit about yourself. Just
Oh yeah.
do a little bit of share a little bit about yourself and what you do and
yeah. Well. Yes. So I am a 50-something-year-old writer. And I've been just kind of doing what I do for a very long time. Really, I've never done anything else, I guess. I always, as a kid, I always wanted to be a writer and performer. And at university, I was lucky enough to meet with a load of other kind of guys who wanted to do similar thing. So we just did a lot of comedy together. We did shows every week on our student radio station, and that was a great kind of training. Yeah, we used to kind of.
Oh, amazing!
Got through a lot of material. And so a good training ground. And then when we left university, we just all kind of moved down to London together and set about starting to kind of knock on the doors of the BBC and try and get ourselves a radio show. And so eventually managed to do radio shows together, did shows up on the Edinburgh Fringe, etc., etc. So most of my 20s was spent in kind of adult or grown up comedy, mainly radio and stage work, and then sort of towards the end of my 20s, I started getting into the children's television kind of line of work, and I've been kind of happily trapped in that for a long time.
Wow, that's great. So that was already summing up for going into my next question. Like, how did you start? How did you start wanting to be a writer? And so, if you wanted to sum that up, was there anything particular that made you want to write?
I think I just, for some reason, it was just something I kind of wanted to do from a kind of early age. And as a teenager, my mum used to take me. I grew up in Oxford, but have you heard of the Cambridge Footlights? Does that mean anything?
Yes, to you? I've heard of Cambridge. I've heard of Cambridge. Yes, of course. I've heard of that. Yes.
So in the UK, you've got Oxford and Cambridge as the kind of these two, the Harvards or the Princetons or whatever of British, they're the kind of oldest, most famous universities I think in the whole world. But a lot of comedians have gone through something called the Cambridge Footlights, which is a sort of comedy society at Cambridge.
Nice.
And basically, it's a lot of great comedians, people like John Cleese, all the Monty Python people.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of British film stars that end up making it in Hollywood and so on have all kind of learnt their trade at the Cambridge Footlights. Anyway, my mum always used to take me to go and watch the Cambridge Footlights because they used to come and do a show in Oxford every year, and that was my ambition, to go to Cambridge and go get into the Cambridge Footlights and then kind of become a kind of comedy legend. Unfortunately, I didn't get into Cambridge because I think I was intelligent enough, but I made it quite clear in the interview that I was really only interested in the Footlights. I wasn't that interested in math, which was what I was supposed to be applying.
That's understandable.
I didn't get into Cambridge, but I did manage to go somewhere
That's
else.
understandable. That's actually very understandable. I didn't really want to go to college either after that because once my school life was over, I kind of hated my school life. So I'm like,
Okay.
nope, I'm not doing it anymore. So once I graduated, I'm like, this is it. I'm not going back anymore. But yeah, and
Right.
you also earlier mentioned some now that are big actors now. So I'm trying to think of well, I have two, but well, one of them being a few of them being Emma. Well, speaking of like Emma Watson and Felicity Jones, who have made it to big. I don't know if you heard
Right.
those names before.
Yeah.
Emma Watson.
Of course, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, and Felicity was actually in the original Worst Witch, the one from '98. Yeah,
Okay.
she was Ethel, I think. Yeah, she played Ethel. I think the
Right.
season.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, but well, yeah. Well, I think since you talked about the worst match, I was gonna say I'm a little stumped on what we should talk about first, but I guess we can go on ahead and talk about the new Worst Witch from 2005. We can go on ahead and talk about that. How was it? And the episodes you've written for, I noticed were oh my Deadly Doubles. You've also written for the Black Hole Club.
Yeah.
And you've also have written, I think, one for the second season, that being the Wish Wimble. So, how was
Yes,
it like
that's right.
writing? How was it like writing for those?
Yeah, I really loved it. It's yeah, it was a great. So at that time, Worst Witch was being made by a company called Granada, and
Yes.
I'd done a couple of other programs for them, written on a couple of other shows. One called My Parents Are Aliens. I don't know
Oh
if you've
my
ever.
gosh! Oh, I've heard about that. I've heard about
Yeah.
Oh my
that.
god, my parents are aliens.
Oh
I've heard about it.
oh my
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we
a
watched
great.
that on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh,
you should check that out if you haven't seen it. It's a
oh my god.
fantastic show. It ran for many years in this country. It was a real hit with kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a bit on that, and I did a bit on another show called Don't Eat Your Neighbors, an animation. But then yeah, so I got asked to write on the new Worst Witch, and yeah, I really loved it. It was
Yeah.
it was yeah, it was good fun. I loved working for Granada. They had a really good
Yeah.
ethos, and actually they were the people who really gave me my first kind of breaks in writing
Cool.
scripted drama and comedy for
Cool.
children's. So they were really great people to write for, and it was a nice show.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. There was a few funny clips I liked it in part of those episodes. So I think in the Deadly Doubles is the one where like Belladonna and Hetty have to work together, and then
so I think that was a classic. Yeah, that was a sort of exactly. That was the classic of kind of putting your being put together with your worst enemy and having to get on with it, and it's, I mean,
that experience.
What was that? Wasn't that inspired by something though?
Ooh, I don't. I don't know whether it's. I mean, that is life, isn't it? You have to. It's an important life for kids. That you have to sometimes get along with people you might not necessarily. I'm naturally. I'm naturally quite a peacemaker, to be honest. I don't tend to kind of get into kind of big scraps with people. So I don't think I kind of had.
Oh my god, I've had that happen before, so I understand. And then also during that Crescent Moon is actually pretty wants to be competitive during that episode too. Like she wants to win, and then she tries to get Dylan. She tries to get Dylan to help her. I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of one clip. One of the best clips in that is like she tells Dillis, "I want you to be a lion," and then they're like raw, and then Dillis like raw, and then she gives a raw rage, and that was
Right.
They picked really good actors for them. They picked really good girl actors for those witches. That's probably why it's so good.
Yeah.
You know, I actually have tried to message Paisley. I've messaged Paisley before, actually, and she said that at the moment she couldn't do it right now. So that's what kind of happened. And you know, and Alice was actually one of the people that did say that she wanted to do it. I was gonna have Alice, who played Hetty. She did say she wanted to do it, but then I reached out back to her in January, and she never got back. I mean, did you get a chance to meet any of the kids or not? Or
No, I mean it's one of the
yeah,
frustrations of writing in TV is that you tend to be you work with the producer and the script editor and so on, and you get the script kind of perfect, you know, or as perfect as it can be.
Yeah, a lot
Do
of
you have
that
a lot? You have a lot of collaboration with the producers and a script editor sometimes.
Oh man.
But what you don't get almost ever is actually working with the actors. You know, the script is then taken, and then it's up to the director to kind of make it work and work with the.
That would have been cool. Honestly, I would have.
Yeah.
That's a lot of thing about the writers. I'm just making sure because some writers get that experience like in real close shows, like Thomas and all that. They do get like in Thomas the Tank. They do get a chance to meet they do get a chance because and like big shows do and all that, and like in Sesame Street here in America, they do get a chance to see all the people and the production and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
for your shows, sometimes for you guys' shows, you don't really get a chance to meet anyone, and that's kind of a little sad.
It is. It is
Yeah.
sad. Yeah. I mean, occasionally you'll get invited to a a kind of rap party or whatever, and so you might kind of see the actor across the room. You might get a chance to chat with them. But it's not really. You don't really get a chance to work with the actors, to actually kind of be there in the rehearsal room or be there on set and actually kind of go, just making sure that every line is kind of singing as you want it to sing and so on. So it can be, I mean, sometimes you tune in to watch your episode and you're kind of amazed, surprised. It's kind of like, oh wow, this is brilliant. They've done such a great job and it's amazing. It's actually, even better than I'd hoped. And then sometimes, occasionally, it's a bit more frustrating and it's a bit like, oh yeah, that didn't quite work as well as I hoped.
That is. But that is something that I think that is something that you should have the privilege of doing. I think that should be a right too, because you're working behind the scenes and you're wanting something to get in and not. So
agreed.
Yeah, it's like I
agreed.
said.
Agreed.
All right, so
it's just the way the industry works over here. I guess they haven't got the money to kind of pay you to be there on set, I guess. And I guess, as writers, you can quite often feel. I mean, I have done the occasional kind of visit to set and so on, but you sort of feel like you're a bit of a spare part and you don't really belong there. You're kind of just hearing from behind the cameras and
that's true.
Not really able to have any input, particularly. I'd say. But Worst Witch was great. I think the Black Hole Club I particularly enjoyed.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
My inspiration, or one of my kind of little inspirations for that was Dead Poets Society. The old film with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
Robin Williams.
Want to try and get a bit of that vibe into.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my god! I also remember in that episode, I remember that Mona and Cressy both shrink. I was I was like, okay, was that a reference to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Did you try to put that in there or no?
I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, shrinking is always good, isn't it?
Oh my god, that was funny. Like Belladonna puts like a potion, and then like on them because she wants to. Because of course Belladonna's like the one that wants to own everything. She just hates Henrietta Hubble so much. Like, oh my god.
Oh.
Like, sometimes I question about this. I'm like, come on, what has Hetty ever done to you? Like, Hetty was just, she's just a friend. Like, she was just there. Like, what has Hetty ever done to you?
I know, right?
I know.
Like, why do you treat her so badly?
Seriously, what the heck?
Oh my goodness. But we'll take a break from the Worst Witch right now. Then I'm gonna let Martin. I want you to answer your question next. Go ahead.
Okay, so for the past couple years ago, like around like 2022, one of my friends, Cool Sports X123, aka Maddie, was talking about this show that he's seen called Swashbuckle, which you did for, and I gotta say, I've been watching some episodes of it on YouTube and Daily Motion, and I gotta say that's a pretty good show. And I gotta say, I have a question. What was it like working for Swashbuckle?
Yeah, I love Swashbuckle. I really love it. It's definitely up there in terms of one of the favorite shows I've written for. I'd say I love
it's definitely underrated.
Joy, the energy of the kids in the audience, and just the slapstick humor of the pirates and so on is great. Yeah, it's really I really love doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's really good fun.
Yeah. I bet the theme song's very catchy though. I listened to the theme song; it was real catchy. Like, oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, that was a really good show.
Yeah,
so I can tell it was really good.
It's a good formula for a kind of I think it works so well having this combination of a game show, seeing the little kids kind of competing in all the games, and the crazy energy of the audience, and then combining that with the sketches of the pirates. It works really well. Yeah, it's a lovely show.
Yeah, too bad we didn't really get it efficiently here. We've only seen a lot of your stuff through YouTube and all that. That's the good thing about social media. We've seen a lot of these UK exclusive shows. Like, I even know about Jacqueline Wilson now and what she's done.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've known about I've known about The Best Friends, The Dumping Ground, Tracy Beaker. So and a matter of fact, one of the writers from Tracy Beaker was also in the new Worst Witch as well. Laura Summers.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you know her or not, but
I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, I know the name, and I'm trying to. I don't. That's I've been in so many writers' rooms over the years. There's a chance I've kind of been in a writer's room with her, and but I can't put a face to the name straight away, but I definitely the name is familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make really sure. So, Jordan.
Yes.
What is your question? You may ask your question as well before I get into.
All right then. Well, sir, my question is, what episodes of Mike the Knight did you write for?
Oh, did a lot of Mike the Knight. Yeah, God. Let's think. I mean, I must have written about 20 odd episodes of it. I was hoping you might be able to tell me, because it's a long time ago, and you guys seem to know a lot more about it than I do. But let's think. I'll tell you what. I'm going to try. I'm going to.
Oh my goodness! See, I was expecting Jordan to actually know since he liked it. Sorry.
Oh.
Let's see. I'll try and get a list.
Oh.
I wasn't expecting Jordan just to ask like what episodes. I was expecting to ask how was it like to work on the show, but
Oh,
that
yes.
that
What was it like to work on the show?
It was good. I mean, I was in it right from the start, which is always nice. So you kind of get, and yeah, we used to have nice writers meetings and so on, and yeah, it was a really nice company to work for at that time. It was Hit Entertainment who were doing it.
Yes.
And,
Oh.
yeah, we had a really great team of writers. Yeah, we had Mark. Yeah, I'm sure Mark Seal was. Yeah, he was kind of
Yes.
leading.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of that writer, Mark Seal.
Yeah, Mark Seal started. Yeah, was kind of lead writer on PJ Masks as well. The first series. But yeah, Mike the Knight. Who did we have? We had. Yeah, me, Mark, Lisa Ackhurst, Simon Nicholson.
Yep. Know that writer name. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, well, he went on to do a lot for PJ Masks. Right, I'm gonna try and get up a.
Yeah, because I remember Simon Nichols also wrote for Thomas too, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done a lot. Yeah. The very first Mike the Knight episode I wrote was about them looking for treasure at the end of a rainbow.
Oh, wow.
Turnip treasure or something. It was to do with the trolls. Yeah. Right, I'm just looking at so from season 2, Mike the Knight and Squirt, Sticking to the Plan. That was one of mine. Mike the Knight and the Best Lookouts. That was one of mine.
Oh, wow.
Special Night Things was mine. Mr. Cuddles Bath Time. That was quite fun. That was Mike trying to get Mr. Cuddles, the
oh my goodness,
the frog or the toad or whatever he was, into the bath.
Oh my god, that, you know what that also reminds me of? It reminds me of a Noddy episode I saw this morning. Invisible Bumpy. Yeah, they were trying to do that as well with Bumpy.
That might be one of my episodes too, to be honest.
yeah, that might have been something similar that you did. Oh my god.
Yeah, Invisible Bumpy. That rings a bell with Noddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rings a bell with Noddy, indeed.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is so nice that we're going back for the nostalgic past here. So, I was probably about maybe 12 years old when I probably saw some of your work, because a lot of it was CGI stuff, animation stuff, and that came around 2012, 2011. So I was still young. I was like young, but I was probably at the age of growing out of a lot of stuff. But boy, I still watched the heck out of the Hit Entertainment stuff. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of them I probably still haven't even watched, to be honest. I need to, I could, all these ones, the bird training, the tour of the castle, what's the line or Super Trebuchet, the night, but yeah, no, I haven't. It's God, it's it's a long time ago. But yeah, no, Mike the Knight was really, it was good fun, and we had a really great. The thing I think I really treasure about Mike the Knight was just having a really nice group of writers working on it, and we used to have really nice writers meetings, and go out and have a few beers and so on, and the company, they were really nice to us. They used to do a little bit of a Christmas Christmas dinner for all the writers who'd worked on Mike the Knight and Thomas as well, of course, at that stage.
God, yes.
So yeah, we also used to have a really nice lunch in somewhere in London and get horribly drunk, and then swear that we would never do the same again.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
yeah.
good
Speaking
fun.
of speaking of Thomas, I know. Speaking of Thomas, actually, well, I'm sure you probably are aware about Sharon Miller, who people say are one of the who is
Sharon, yeah.
People say that she's one of the worst writers of Thomas.
Oh.
Absolutely.
People say that, and in a way, I agree, but I think she is better as a voice director. Sorry,
Right.
Sharon. No offense.
Yeah.
I think I know why, because they kind of made Thomas a bit dumber, and just they didn't make things add up. Here's the thing. Even though Thomas is a kid's show, I do see where they're coming from, but you got to remember that Thomas Away is a kid's show, so I can't really judge it too much, but I can, because I can definitely see why. I mean, when I was younger, I just loved all for when she wrote on the model series, I just liked all the action. I liked the action and just seeing the trains and the crashing and the sound of the brakes. I just liked that. So I didn't care what happened. Now, as I'm getting older, I'm like, yeah, I can see why. I can see why it would be a little unfair, and in sometimes, but may
I don't know. All I can say is I'm sure. Well, even as often, as writers, we are often kind of being told what to do from the executives up above.
Yeah, I don't think she was.
I think if Sharon was being, it wouldn't have been her choice necessarily to dumb down.
I know she wrote for.
Make it.
I know she wrote for Edward Strikes Out, which is actually before you came along. She wrote, which is actually a model series, a season 10 episode before you came, and a lot of people bashed that episode because Edward was completely out of character. And I mean, even Edward, I think he was just trying to resemble that people have bad days too. But I do understand what the fans are going for. I certainly do not think Edward would be a bully like that and would tell people that would judge by the looks. I don't think Edward would do that.
Right.
But so I get what the fans are trying to say. I do. I'm not bashing the fans by any means. I do. It's not. I wouldn't say it's the worst Thomas episode out there, but
Yeah, I don't know. I've got nothing. I've met Sharon a few times, and she's absolutely lovely. I love Sharon. So I've nothing to say on that particular. I realised there was controversy.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, how was it like to write for Thomas? Because you wrote for at least some of the Mr. Perkins segments on.
Yeah,
Thomas.
I did.
How was that?
Yeah, I would have liked to do more Thomas. The thing I found with Thomas was because when I came on board, it had been going for years and years and years and years and years. So it was very hard to pitch an idea for a story that hadn't already been done. So many times you would go, oh, I've got a really great idea, and then what about this? And it'd be, no, we did that, series 15, episode 3, or series 9, episode 927. It was it was very, very hard to get an idea past them. Even so even though obviously it was at that time they were. I mean, I don't know. Are they still making Thomas? Are they still making new episodes?
They are making Thomas, but it's not. It's not good. It's
right.
It's terrible. Right. They're doing all engines go now, and so it's terrible.
It is an abomination.
Is it right?
It is just, oh my god! And people thought that y'all's seasons were bad when you were writing it. Imagine this.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to hear.
I mean, no, now one of them you liked was one of them I really enjoyed, and I actually watched the 2 episodes you've written for in both dubs, and both, because Thomas has both dubs, a UK and a US dub. And one of and I watched the Sounds of Sodor, which in both dubs today. I watched them in both dubs, and I prefer, and I know this is gonna be a little bit probably unsurprising, but I kind of prefer the U.S. dub a bit more.
Okay, right.
Just because, I mean, not only did I grow up with it, but I kind of like how the way it just syncs with the voices more than the UK dub. The UK dub was fine, but I didn't really grow up with it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of natural. I mean, I know that. Yeah, a lot of it's the same here. Well, as an Englishman, a UK based Englishman, I instinctively, I think, prefer to hear English voices rather than American with animation, kids animation and stuff. We get a lot of things over here that are with their American voices, but equally, I'm sure they do kind of redub American things. And I don't know. I watched actually, because when I knew I was going to be talking to you, I looked up on the internet the episode. So I watched Sound episode in the American dub, and I watched the other Percy's New Friends in the English, in the UK dub. And I think I much preferred Percy's New Friends as an episode. I think I thought that was a bit more successful, but I don't know. Anyway, I really enjoyed writing, and I really enjoyed doing the Mr. Perkins stuff as well, because that was a chance to do something a little bit different, and it was live action rather than animation.
Live action would not steal a real human being in the series.
Yeah.
So that was a new change too. I mean, it doesn't help that Thomas was going on to CGI. You were already in the CGI, and so it was kind of hard for you to think, well, what can I do with now Thomas being CGI and now Thomas, because for many years, I mean, and Glenn Rage did say that the original voices were actually American. The original CGI era was American. That's what Glenn Rage said when we interviewed him. So that was still, but Glenn Rage was a fun interview too. He could still pull off the voices like of Spencer and Cranky. He could still do them. Yeah, I don't know if you've met him or not, but there's a place in in the UK where Americans go. I think there is a place there. I think there is a place. That's what he says. That there's a place where Americans go, where there's a place where. So I don't know the whole UK industry and how it works.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know how the industry really works. I just know that some people just know each other. I used to think that everybody from the entertainment industry, like all around the world and all that, they all connected with each other because they were on TV. At one point, I said, "Oh, maybe from this person from this show knows another person from a Muppeteer or knows whomever or whom or whom." But nope, that's not the case.
I think probably, and I think it depends on the sort of person you are. I'm quite a shy person, maybe a classic sort of writer. I tend to just spend most of my time in my room. I'm not very good at networking, at kind of making connections with people.
Of course.
I don't go out of. I don't leave my room very often. I know there are some writers who are much better at kind of getting out there and meeting people and so on. But I'd say in general, in this country anyway, it tends to be the producers are the people who kind of know everyone, because they're the ones who are kind of connecting the writers with the performers, with the all the editors, the marketing people, the brand management, etc. Whereas as writers we are quite we do our job at the beginning as pitching the ideas and creating the storylines and writing the scripts, and then that's it, job done, kind of thing.
That's great. It's good that we can know all of these informations, and the fact that you've worked on all these English shows is just it's incredible. I mean,
certainly.
And I wanted to bring up. We know we didn't tackle the Wishwimble yet from the Worst Witch. Going back to that, I want to tackle that. So how did the Wishwimble come about? Because I remember in the episode they had wish pebbles and they tried to make their own wish. So was that inspired? How did that come about?
Oh, God! I mean, I can remember sitting outside the Granada studio in the kind of with a really lovely chap called Neil Mossy, who was script editing that series.
Wait, Neil Mossy?
Yeah, and he was just going, yeah, Jez, you did, your 2 episodes for the first season were brilliant. Let's go, and then we were just kind of like sort of spent several hours just like, yeah, what can we do?
Oh my gosh.
God, I can't remember much more about the Wish Wimble. I kind of have a vague image of.
Oh my God, you were just he was just telling you to write something. I want you to write something really good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God, and the fact that you were outside Granada, but the girls didn't know you were there, so. The girls didn't know you were. Well, actually, they may have done the exterior shots. I know the exterior shots were done at like Cliffrow Castle. The exterior shots were done there at Cliffrow. So I'm not sure if they were doing if they were already done filming it by then, or if Actually, no, they weren't. Actually, no, they weren't because you had to write it first. So
yeah, we had to write it first.
yeah, you got to write it first before you can. So yeah, I'm sorry. So I don't know how that, but you never met any of the kids, and you were like,
no,
you were like, man, if only they were there, they could have helped you. That would have been
maybe.
Yeah.
That would have been like, oh my God, are you one of the writers for our series? Like, I'm gonna mock their, but it was like, oh my goodness, is that one of the writers for the series? Like, I'm sorry if I'm mocking your British voice there, but I mean, it's like I'm like, is that one of the writers? Is that really a writer there for our series? What if we could give him like a wish, or maybe we could like say, oh my God, we should meet him, or I mean, hey, I don't see why not. I mean, that would have been cool if you did. You probably would have gotten a better idea if you met them.
Maybe.
Like I said, and I think another one I remembered what was so funny. There's a couple of clips that were so funny. So Mona actually tries Mona, which is played by Annabelle Barnston, who I like. Annabelle's done a lot of things there too. Has done quite a bit there too. She's also done Coming of Age, which was another weird show up there. That was hilarious. And then I'm trying to think. So she tries to have a bet with she tries to make a machine that without magic, and then like she has like an egg, and then she tries to make it move, and then like then they tell her to take it down, and then because they want her to use magic, and then then Miss Cackle apparently says if you use a machine, if you can prove with the machine without using magic, then apparently they see her using magic as they're trying to rescue Hetty's dog, but Belladonna turned into a lizard, and so then Miss Cackle takes away her powers, and so
right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, and okay, that's a little. Then she found out she can't do magic, and you know the funniest thing, she has to paint a chocolate tree, but then it's like a lemon tree.
Right.
And then it's like a lemon tree. That's pretty funny. And then Belladonna bites it, and then she blames Hubble for it.
Right. Is this all in the Wish Wimble?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't. I don't remember any of this, but it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just refreshed some of this for you. Oh my goodness. So you don't remember putting any of? You don't remember the Wish Wimble. You just remember the first two.
All I remember is I mean I remember the name and I remember the pain of not having an idea to begin with, and somehow I've forgotten everything that came in between.
Oh my God! So the one that you remember the most is the black hole. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the black hole. I mean that's a good episode. The black hole is a good episode. It's just and then of course afterwards, in that episode, the black hole they get punished, of course, and that's kind of like, oh my God, but it's Belladonna who spoiled it for them. Like what? Why can't Belladonna get punished or Cynthia get punished?
I know.
They need to get punished. They were rude to her. They were rude to her. Like,
That is just
my
crazy.
God. And sometimes, you know what? I kind of find it a little weird because Cynthia actually hates Mona because Mona's I don't know, Mona's dad had something to do with pentangles, and so yes, and so why is she mean to Hubble instead of not being mean to Mona? She needs to be mean to Mona in a way. I just find it so funny that they just hate that her and that Belladonna and Cynthia just hate her. They just hate Hetty to death.
Yeah, it's like I think it's kind of the rule of that kind of show is you just have to have somebody who kind of hates the hero for kind of no real good reason. I mean, it's the same in Harry Potter. It's it's kind of yeah. I think that's just classic English boarding school kind of rule.
Of course.
That's what happens.
Of course. So okay, so this is the time now where I have fan questions. We have fan questions. So we're gonna go on ahead and get into our fan questions before we talk about anything more. So yeah, these are fan questions. So our first fan questions are people from YouTube, and they're, a matter of fact, they're Thomas people. So, yeah, so we have one from Farquhar. He goes by Farquhar Studios, and he has a question. He says to Gerard, "What's your favorite episode that you've written?" And we've kind of sort of established that a little bit.
Yeah, so the Thomas ones, I'd say I think I prefer the Percy's New Friends. Yeah, but yeah, I did. I mean, yeah, I did really enjoy all the Mr. Perkins stuff too.
Yeah. Speaking of Mr. Perkins, one of them I really liked was the whole flower. Was the whole he's just trying to grow a carrot and he's trying to get the carrots to grow faster and faster. Yeah. That was real funny. That was really funny. And then the fact he was singing the carrots too. I said, you can't sing the carrots to make them grow. That's not how it works. But man, may Ben Foster rest in peace though, because he died.
Right.
Yeah, he died of cancer. He died of cancer in like 2017.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Ben. Rest in peace to Ben and Michael Angelis, who narrated the UK dub of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, rest in peace to him too, and also and rest in peace to the others like George Carlin, who narrated Thomas in the early days, and of course Robin Smith, who did the DVDs here for America. May they all rest in peace, and especially Bertolf Croft.
Right.
Rest in peace, you guys. Rest in peace. I give so much respect to the Thomas people in many ways. Rest in peace, you guys. Thank you guys for making the show so great, and we love you guys we love you all for your work. Thank you guys so much. And also to Gerard, he says, no, this is from Suridan Studios. I can't really say his name right. I can't spell his name right. The Surderin A. Yeah, the Surderin A0 from YouTube. He has a question. He says, any favorite Thomas and Friends characters or, episodes, not that you writ for, but just, for the episodes, you can just say one that maybe one that you haven't written for that you like, or that you remember watching when you were younger.
I quite liked maybe this might be the wrong thing to say because I can't remember. He might have been a CGI creation but I quite like that Spencer character, the kind of
oh, okay, yeah, Spencer's a good character. Spencer, he was the private engine. Yeah, that's just not a bad character. I like Spencer. He was good. He was one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites for a while. So
same.
He was a great character. Spencer was good. And and he wanted to know about episodes too. I mean, maybe I'll sum up his questions. Maybe there's an episode that you haven't written for that you like. Like it can be without the Thomas season. It can be maybe anything from the model or the CGI or anything.
Oh gosh, it's difficult. I mean, I used to watch a few with my oldest son. It was it was like the first TV program that my oldest son kind of got into when he was 3 or 4 years old, I guess. So yeah, I can't. I think I remember there was one about. I can't remember whether it was Thomas or somebody else running through lots of puddles that sticks in the mind.
Oh yeah, puddles. Yeah, that was Splish Splash Splosh, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
was the episode.
right.
That was in the CGI series. Is that what one you're talking about? Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it could well be.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Was
I
there
don't know.
another?
Was there like a very old classic episode that you like from the
Oh,
model era, or no, or you can't think of one?
I probably wouldn't be able to. No, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I didn't. I didn't. I think. Yeah, I didn't watch it as a kid because I'm not sure it was kind of being made when I was actually a kid myself.
Yeah, I know the books probably were. The books were, but
yeah, I wasn't. It wasn't until I was sort of working in the industry that I kind of started watching a few episodes and reading a few scripts and stuff. But, there was another one. Was it Fernand? No, there was one where one of them ends up with some sailing with some sailboat wings or something, or a sail. I don't know. I can't remember.
A sailboat. Was it? Well, there's many sailboats. The one I'm thinking of is from the model series. Thomas Set Sail was probably a few seasons before you came. That was one of my favorites. Yeah, I like that episode. Thomas Set Sail was a great episode, and I think there was another boat character named Skiff that came in much later.
Okay.
That probably might have. Yeah, that might have been one. That might have been a character you might be referring to.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Thomas was just the theme tune. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I love.
Yeah, the one that was done by Ed Welch. Yeah, the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8. And
I really think it's great. So catchy.
Yeah, I know a lot. I know a lot of people think that that's a very generic one because it plays over and over and over and over again. But it's not really bad. It's good. It's good for an ending.
Yeah.
It's really good because every episode they close off with that, and they did it for so long too. They did that for like 10 years. They did it for like almost 10 years. So they did it from like season 8 to 18, and then I think season 19 is when they switched it up a little bit.
Okay, right.
So, So our another question comes from Tim Delzer, and now we're on Instagram, and Tim Delzer asks a question. He says now you didn't work directly with him, but he wants to know. My question: how was it fun? Was it fun working with Ben Foster? And I don't think you've had any interaction with him, so
No, I don't think so. No, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't think you can really answer that. But all you can say about the Mr. Perkins, if that may make you feel better, all you can say is that I'm going to say it for you. He had fun doing them. They were great. They were great. Yep, Mr. Perkins was definitely a great character. He was probably one of the best things about the CGI stuff, besides maybe not the CGI episodes in general might not have been good, but some of the real life stuff was good. And another one is, I don't know, I don't think you wrote for any of the outside episodes, but during the CGI, the 30-minute, like during the 30-minute CGI episodes that they did, like if it was on a 30-minute for like the double episodes for here in PBS here, and then you had Nick Jr. in the UK. They for the 30-minute TV statements, they filmed the outsides, like they would go to they would film the engines, like the real life engines that run there in the UK, and they would film them. They would film them throughout the episodes and explain to the kids at home what the job is and all that. So that was actually a pretty interesting part of that. That was an interesting part. That I like that. I like those parts. Those parts were good.
Yeah.
Have you ever has Thomas ever come to America? Is there like sort of Thomas's in America, or does that just happen in England, in the
No, I think it
UK?
only just happened in England that they just shot all those shots there in England, and they
Yeah,
just and the two Michaels would just narrate over it. So
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the real. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I think you guys may know what I'm talking about. I'm sure that the fans would know what I'm talking about. Like it would be like a segment where like they would film the real life engines, and then they would explain like what they do, like the signals and the station, and then they would show like real life engines pulling real life people and all that.
Mm.
So yeah, and of course our last set of questions come from, of course, Tori Jane Benson, who, and they're normally just the same. And she wanted to know what inspires you to be a writer.
I think there's it's 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 kind of being able to um, share all the crazy kind of thoughts that go on in your head, and sort of to be able to. I think there's a magic in that, in being able to kind of um, I think we all probably live inside our heads to a certain
Yeah,
extent, and it's being able to kind of turn all the craziness into scripts that actually kind of make sense and that you can share with other people is very good. And I think it's very good for your mental health, I think, as well
hmm
as it's
yeah,
very
absolutely.
satisfying kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's one of the reasons I think I'm a sort of reasonably happy, well balanced person is because I kind of I'm able to write. So if I'm feeling frustrated, or lots of
Yeah.
feeling kind of negative emotions, actually you can, by playing with them and so on, you can kind of get them out and kind of make sense of them. It's a great way of processing emotions, I think.
That works. That definitely works. And I can
Yeah.
definitely see where you're coming from. Like most of the
Mm.
time, I think a lot of the writers they kind of throw things based off of their real life in shows,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
think that's it. Yeah. So like maybe you didn't get along with your siblings, or maybe you didn't get along with your parents, or you had a tough school life. I can definitely relate. I can definitely relate to why to when you're having a mental health and stuff like that.
Mm, yeah.
And
Mhm.
her second question is, what was your favorite show you worked on? What was one of your favorite shows? Like,
Oh, crikey. Well, so many. I mean, in terms of animation, I think. Well, yeah. I don't know, Do you have Postman Pat over there? Do you know Postman Pat?
yes, I've seen Postman Pat.
Um,
I think I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I watched him very much or not.
yeah, you should.
I
They
don't
I
know.
really like, and that's not CGI. It's stop frame animation.
Yes.
So very nice, kind of feel and to it. But yeah, I wrote quite a few of the Postman Pats, the sort of later series, the
Hmm.
last
Yeah.
3 or 4 series. I've written quite a few on there.
Yeah.
I always really liked Postman Pat. It's very, 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 very English, the humour and so
hmm
on. I don't. It's probably not widely available in America. I don't know, and maybe it's
Yeah.
not. So
I
they probably,
don't think it was too widely, but I
yeah,
think, but I have, but I'm sure it has been shared. I'm sure it has been shared here in America before. I'm sure it
yeah,
has. Just like, well, Wallace and Gromit. I think the only Wallace and Gromit that were shown were probably the movies. I
right.
don't know if the series was shown, and I think the only early pilots were shown. I don't know if they actually did a lot of shows of Wallace and Gromit there
There's
here.
not
But like,
really been a Wallace and Gromit series. No, it's just
yeah.
there was sort of 3 or 4 kind of short films of kind of about
Yeah, there were
20
short
minutes or
films,
so
and I
long.
but I don't think the short films were too popular in the U.S. I know that the movies were. The
Yeah,
movies were popular here in the U.S. because DreamWorks, and then you had Chicken Run and all
Mhm.
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know they were popular. So those are a big hit. I think Shaun, and also another one, I think Shaun the Sheep, what they did, Aardman. Yeah. So I think Shaun the Sheep was pretty popular here for a while too. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
don't
was.
think but I think it was more better in the US. Like I said, I think Aardman's more well received by UK fans than US in a way. But
Yeah,
still.
they've got a very English kind of sense of humor. I think a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff.
So I think that's and I tell my friends this all the time. I think that how much do you want to bet I think shows like Tracy Beaker and maybe Millie in Between or the Dumping Ground, I'm sure they probably were at first going to be pitched to maybe the US, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if people did try to pitch them to be in North America. And I think it just didn't turn out very well
Right, right.
because I don't think some of the producers liked it, like at Disney or anything else would have liked it. Because I don't think the only channel that we probably had here that was probably not worldwide was PBS here in America. So that, but and PBS was mainly toned to like young kids. You
Mhm.
and for you guys over there, you guys just didn't have young toddler shows on the channel. You had all sorts of shows. Like you had all sorts of shows. Like it would be like toddlers, and then you would have bigger teen stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna save her last question for like the net for when we're starting to wrap up, which is probably which should be very soon, probably
Mhm.
to wrap up. Dude, normally I do like to go normally to see like it. Usually the interviews lasted for an hour to an hour and a half. Normally, that's how I normally go for my interviews. So
Yeah.
yeah, so now going in from moving on from Postman Pat and all that and Thomas and all that. How was it like to work on Noddy?
Oh yeah, Noddy. Yeah, really good. So yeah, I did a a lot of Noddy. I mean, I wrote a few episodes going back a long time, back to sort of kind of mid 2000s or something when it was being made by oh god, yeah. That was the kind of Invisible Bumpy, that kind of era.
Yeah.
And then when they kind of reinvented it as Toyland Detective. So
Yeah.
have you had that over there in America now?
I think we did. I think we did. I think we had Toyland because it is. I think we did have Detective in Toyland
Yeah.
because
So
that
that
came
was
here on Netflix. I think that came on Netflix.
yeah,
So
yes, it did. I think yeah. So I think that really breathed good new life into it, and yeah, they created quite a few nice new characters and so on. So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
yeah.
And yeah, I was head writer on the second series of that, and was working. It was a co-production with Gaumont in France and then DreamWorks in London.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I had to go over to Paris a few times to have meetings over there in France and stuff, which was nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got to because I studied French at university, so I got to kind of use my French kind of talking to the guys out there and yeah, I was helping the French writers as well to generate storylines and so on, and yeah, sort of story editing their storylines. So yeah, that was good. Yeah, it was a good.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad that was for you. I gotta say, all Noddy has been so Noddy here. The only time I really mainly at first seen Noddy was make way for Noddy, and then of course you
Yeah,
had the earlier stuff, the Noddy Shop, which it
yeah,
did air in the UK, but then they dubbed the voices. They
right.
dubbed the voices
Mhm.
they dubbed like the voices. So now
Mhm.
I don't know which one came first. Either if it came to North America first and they dubbed over that, or if they dubbed over. I think it might have been the other way around because those Noddies from the Noddy Shop show look much older.
Right.
The graphics
Yeah.
definitely do look a little older, and I've seen some of the Noddy Shop. And if you guys have not seen Noddy, Noddy's a good show. The Noddy Shop's a good show.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you really need to check out because so basically it's technically taken place in Canada. The Naughty Shot's taken place in Canada. So yeah, it's like a Canadian film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a Canadian. So yeah, that's just yeah. So yeah, I didn't really watch too much. I didn't watch a lot of the younger naughty stuff like I have with Thomas and probably the worst which I've been watching probably since 2018 because I remember I saw the newer worst witch, not the '05 but the one from 2017. I saw that on Netflix. So I wonder and I found out that there were other versions of the worst witch as well, like the new one which I've talked about, Weird Sister College, and the one from '98. And they did a movie of it too before all that came about. They did like a movie about it. I didn't really like the movie too much. I definitely like the series better, the shows better, because I think that really suited the humor.
Yeah.
So so it's really good that I'm knowing about a lot of these American shows, even though they weren't released officially. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know if that particular Worst Witch, the new Worst Witch, the one from '05, I don't even know if it aired here in America. I know it got here to Australia.
Oh yeah.
And I know that the other ones did, like the '98 one aired on HBO, and the one from, like I said, the one from earlier that I mentioned, the one from 2017 with Bella Ramsey in it, it came here on Netflix, and I think it aired on Disney Channel 2 years later. So that's very interesting to know and to know. Just one thing to say is I am just so proud of your writing over the years. I gotta say, even though I didn't may not have grown up with a lot of your writing when I was a kid, I still remember, I still love your writing, and I still remember watching, episodes like Percy's New Friend, and The Sounds of Sodor. And you
That's
gotta
right.
love the musical bit in The Sounds of Sodor too. I know that
Yeah,
they
yeah,
kind of sort of one of the things I liked about it is that they kind of use the same whistles like they
yeah.
normally use, and some of the engine switched whistles, which was
Right.
which was quite funny. Like,
Yes.
oh my god, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, Thomas, no, that's James's whistle, Thomas, no, or that's Ed. Well, in the earlier series, he actually used Edward's whistle actually, and I think seasons 4 and 5 he used Edward's whistle. So,
Right.
and then I think Gordon did too in a few episodes. He used Edward's whistle in a few episodes in the early ones. And he also used ducks as well. He used ducks, Donald and Douglas's as well. I
Okay.
remember that specifically. So you're not so I mean it's kind of cool. It's kind of funny when an engine just does it like it's funny when an engine just has a different whistle.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Well, do you guys have any other questions for Gerard here before we start getting into the ending questions?
Oh, 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 oh. I
Yes,
have one.
go ahead.
Okay.
So, um, this question is about Noddy actually. I have a question. Just out of pure curiosity, what was your favorite episode of Make Way for Noddy?
Oh, crikey. Well, so I think if that was the one that I wrote, yeah, 3 or 4 episodes on, I think um, the only one I can remember is the Invisible Bumpy. But
Oh.
Oh.
was there one where they had to? Was there kind of one with the jigsaw pieces where they were
I don't think I
lots of
remember
jigsaw
seeing that.
pieces?
I think you're referring to Noddy and Toyland, Martin, and I don't really think you're referring to Make Way for Noddy. You're referring to Noddy and Toyland.
Noddy in Toyland.
Yeah,
I
I
was
Oh.
think that's
supposed to
those. I
wait
think
for
that's what you're
Noddy.
referring
Oh
to.
yeah, Noddy in Toyland. Yeah, maybe it was Noddy. Yeah, I can't remember. Um,
Noddy's had a lot of things happen, so Noddy's
yeah,
had
it's
a
been a
lot of.
lot of different. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mostly
the
remember Make Way
Noddy
for Noddy.
Toyland Detective was the most recent, and that was the one I've written many
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
notes
you
of.
were head writer on that, so said you were
Yeah,
head
yeah,
writer. So,
yeah.
well, Jordan, you got any? You got any for him too? You got any for him too?
None that come to mind. No.
All right. Well, Gerard, I do have to say this is probably this has been a great interview as well. I gotta say.
Cool, thank you.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
okay, so now Tori, now this was Tori's question as well, and I normally ask this. What is something what are some current projects or any future plans that you are working on?
Oh well, at the moment, probably the most exciting thing I'm doing is writing a musical for children, which is going to be on in the UK in Christmas this coming year. So
Ooh, that's
yeah, I'm
gonna
very. I
be
probably
Oh.
very
can't say
good.
any. I can't say any more than that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm writing it with a good friend and colleague called Richie Webb, who does. I don't know. Do you guys? Have you had horrible histories over there
Oh
in
my
the?
gosh. Oh my
Oh,
God.
my
No,
mother
actually.
watched that.
Oh my, you know what? I first watched Horrible Histories at my school. And I
Right.
remember that there was like a Englishman song. They go do do do
Yeah, yeah,
do 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 do. Do. I was like, what the heck is this?
yeah.
It was weird. Our teacher showed us it. It was like,
Okay, okay.
I was in seventh grade. I was like, I don't know about this. This doesn't look. Yeah, he found it online too. So,
Right.
but you want to know a funny story? I did actually see it here on like Roku. Like Roku had like a channel that featured like BBC Kids on here, and I actually did get a chance to watch it. And Horrible Histories is I did not know some of these things. I found out that one time they used like brown wax and they would tell kids that it was chocolate. I'm like, they
Hmm.
really did that? That's
Yeah, it's a brilliant.
gross.
Yeah, it's a great
Oh.
show. So yeah, I wrote on a few first 5 or 6 episodes, five or six series of that, and it was a
Oh my
great
goodness.
show. So I'm writing this musical with the guy who writes all the songs, all the music
For
for
that
that.
show? For that
Yeah,
show? Oh wow, so you're reuniting with him. That's
yeah.
cool.
He's
That's
not. He's
cool.
so. I went to university with him, and we did a lot of comedy together in the
Cool.
so on. So yeah, it's nice to be working
Cool.
with him on something.
That is cool. That is cool. And
Yeah.
so for anyone who wants to wants to be an wants to be a writer or just, anything like that, or, if anybody that wants to write or, do achieve anything or try to work on production or anything, what is your what do you what's your message or what's.
Oh God, well, I mean, it's 99% hard work and 1% talent. Really, it's you've got to just turn up at your desk every day and
Oh.
yeah, just do it. You've got to want to do it. You've got to love doing it,
Yeah.
and you you've got to just sit there and yeah, there'll be many days when you're not quite feeling it, and it's feeling really, really hard and really painful. And then every now and again, you'll kind of get a burst of energy, and it'll be like, "Yeah, I can do this," da, 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 and it's all
Yeah.
flying. But you know, most of the
Yeah.
time, it feels like quite
Definitely.
hard work, but you just have
Mhm.
to sit there and stick it out. So that's my advice, really.
Absolutely. And just, do you want to say anything to anybody that have just supported your work or any of your UK people that have watched your work over the years and just
Um, I don't think so particularly. I mean, it's obviously without you guys watching the shows, there'd be no show. So it's sort of
yeah,
yeah.
or
Thank
just
you.
anybody that's or anyone that's new to this. Anybody that's new to the UK stuff, I mean, hey, you got to admit this is these are interesting things to know. Like if I were to tell people, "Hey, have you heard of this show?" They would tell you no because it's from the UK. So
Mm,
it was a really good. The UK, you guys have had some pretty good shows, and
yeah,
like of course
yeah.
I've said Tracy Beaker, of course, and then there was another one which was actually on a BBC channel that I found about a year ago called Demon Headmaster, one from like
that's a good
96.
show.
Yeah, the one from like 96. That was I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
That was definitely a good show. I
Yeah.
1996 was definitely an interesting year as well. And then I'm watching a few right now. I'll tell you what I'm watching. So I'm watching a few right now. One of the shows is called The Wild House, which was yes, it aired a long time ago. There. And then I'm trying to think of another one. There's one called The Queen's Nose that I was watching.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Queen's Nose. And I'm trying to think of another one that features like Honey Shuckle Weeks in it. I don't know if you've heard of that name, Honey Shuckle Weeks. She was in the Google Eyes. The Google
Right.
Eyes, which was yeah, it was pretty old there. And then I've also seen the Sammy ad too, which is AKA the Sand Fairy that was going on around
Okay.
'96 as well, the '90s as well.
Mm.
That's I've been watching British stuff for about maybe almost 10 years now. So
Yeah. Young Dracula. Have you watched any of that?
yeah.
Young Dracula.
Young Dracula. I think I've heard of that. I haven't.
Yeah, that's a good. If you like those other things, then yeah,
Yeah,
you should like Young Dracula.
yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah,
wrote a few episodes of that. That was good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are some I don't like. Like a few of them was a show called Dick and Dom. I didn't really
Okay.
like that. I didn't really like that. That was just. How did the UK go on with that for so many years? A bunch of guys throwing cream of muck at you. I'm like, ew, that's gross. And then, oh my God, there was another show. A show was called Stupid. There was a show called Stupid. I'm like, why would you make a show name called Stupid? And then, like, I can see why it definitely owns up to its name.
Mm,
Oh my God,
okay.
man. Well, I just have a lot of fun. I don't know if you've written for any of those shows I've just mentioned, or you may have learned
No, I
writers for
haven't.
any
No.
of those. Yeah, I didn't think so. You've only just written on the ones that were on your website.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, that's okay. Hey, but I'm liking your UK stuff. I definitely hope to have some more UK guests in the future. We're actually supposed to be having somebody from Barnaby and Becky real soon. I don't, but
Ooh.
she's touring right now, so hopefully we should be able to have her real soon. I don't. I'll just have to see what we can arrange, and but yeah. All right, and this is our final question. This is what we ask everybody here. So this is the big
Mhm.
question. If you didn't see the latest episode, we asked the big question. So okay, for the so this is called Entertainment Treasure Talk with me, Samuel Warwick, of course. And I like to ask all my guests this. I've been asking our guests this for a while. What is something that is entertainment treasure to you? Like, what is a show? Like, if there's a show, movie, music, song, maybe a book or something or that, or a video game. Though I think you're probably too old to remember any video games because video games didn't come around. They're more our generation. But if you had to pick any category, like anything, like any particular category, like if there a particular game or anything, something particular in any of those categories, what show or anything
So
or
for
song
me,
what you pick?
I think my ultimate
Like what I'm trying to say is, what's
entertainment.
your favorite show of all time or whatever
Yeah,
or something like that?
my ultimate entertainment treasure would be the show that I loved most when I was kind of 3 4 years old. That was a musical called Joseph and His Technicolor Dreamcoat. Don't know whether you're familiar with that, by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice, who are big
I've
kind of
heard that
musical
name. Oh my
writers.
gosh, I've heard those names. Wait a minute, I've heard those names. Holy
Yeah, I mean
crud,
they've
I've
written
heard
a
those
lot of
names.
big, but yeah, Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat was the thing I kind of
Oh my
fell in love
goodness.
with when I was 4 years old. So I'd
Oh
have to
my
say that is
goodness.
my ultimate treasure.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, I was trying to think for a moment. What were we talking about? Like, yeah, I think I might know what you're talking about. I think I've heard about it. So, yeah, man, all I just gotta say is this has been another great interview, you guys. I can't just first of all, thank you guys for 34 episodes of my show. We're almost about 35, so next episode's gonna be another woohoo. I didn't even know I would make it. I did not know I would make it here. So, it's good to know. And I thank you, Gerard, for being a big help to this as well.
It's not at all. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are very welcome.
It has been awesome. And guys, that is a goodbye from the three of us as well. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully our next episode is something special already arranged. And so hopefully I'm going to be contacting more people, so hopefully we're going to be busy for maybe a while, hopefully now. So yeah, guys, but anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode, and we will see everybody on the next episode. Until then, dig for entertainment treasure. Dig for it, guys. Just dig for entertainment treasure, and watch whatever you like, and that's what I always say, guys. So thanks everybody for watching, and we will see everybody for the next episode of this podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. We hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, maybe you'd like to watch or hear more episodes of the show. The link to the playlist is in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more upcoming episodes. And don't forget that you're awesome and that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. See you next time for another great episode of the podcast. Peace out.